You don't get to be good-hearted by accident. You get kicked around long enough, you get to be a real professor of pain. I know exactly how you feel.
Lonely Hearts, it's loaded with tomatoes! I am the Wiz! Well, today's review is about the 1955 Academy Award winner for Best Picture. It is Marty, starring Ernest Borgnine and Betsy Blair. I gotta be honest with films that win the Oscar for Best Picture, this rarely gets talked about, and there's probably a few reasons why. One, the films that were nominated for Best Picture that year don't really get talked about either. Love is a Many Splendid Thing, Mr. Roberts, Picnic, The Rose Tattoo. Like, I never hear about any of these movies at all anymore. Since Marty is really not a movie that is very popular or has been called one of the better films that have ever come out, this is really not one that gets talked about all that much. And that's kind of a shame because this is actually a very sweet film about lonely hearts and finding connections. This stars Ernest Borgnine as Marty, a honest butcher who has just given up on love because he's been hurt too many times and has been rejected too many times. He's kind of a pudgy 35-year-old man who is a butcher who lives with his mom and has resigned himself into realizing he may never find love until he meets a lady named Clara, who is a teacher from another part of the town. It's a very sweet film, and what makes this film sweet are the two performances by Ernest Borgnine and Betsy Blair as the two people in the film. They're just very lovable and charming. And this film is a very hopeful film. It's a film basically about two people who have been hurt, who are shy, and who are very insecure, and yet find a way to connect with each other and find that hope that they would find somebody. Even if it's them, even if it's not them. There's this warmth in this film that is hopeful on the onset, which I really enjoyed and really resonated with. But yeah, if you're a person that's dealing with that, like if you're in your mid-30s, or even if you're a man in your 20s and you're feeling lonely and you feel like you have no shot, I would think Marty is a film that I would definitely have somebody check out and see that maybe there is a little hope. Because Marty's not the most handsome guy. He's pudgy. He's got a squishy face or something like that. He is a likable, honest guy, and as long as you have that and you have a good personality, you can find somebody. That is perfectly reasonable. The only issue that I have with this film, and it's a sign of the times of this when this film was made, because what I'm asking for would never happen around that time, and it's that the film should have ended after the date. What this is the first act of the film is Marty deciding to go out with his friends even though he's kind of tired of going out. The second is him meeting Clara, and they connect, they talk, get to know each other, they enjoy their company. And the third act is basically whether Marty decides to go out with her again. And the pressures with his family and friends to just give up on Clara because she's a dog, she's not that good looking. And him giving into that pressure to not give Clara a chance. And honestly, to me, I think the third act was kind of pointless because you could tell by the end of the second act that there was a deep connection there, and the way Marty is and the way Clara is, that they would still have that connection. I just felt that the third act was kind of pointless at that end. It is clear that Marty is being guilted by his mother and his family and his friends to go out there, find a girl, get married, and stuff like that, which is another thing that's weird about this movie, if you're looking in today's perspective, is the pressure to get married. It just doesn't seem like nowadays people pressure others to get married for, I would say, good reasons if they don't want to get married. And I still think it's a very sweet film. I think it's a very lovely film that is about just two lonely people just finding a connection with someone else for once and having that hope that they can find somebody or they can find happiness. That's a movie that I think, especially today with how separated people are, that I think people would get something out of. I definitely enjoyed Marty. All right, so before we get into my score, let's go into the ratings from other sites. Letterboxd rating from Marty is 3.9 out of 5. Rotten Tomatoes has it at 96 fresh. And this film won 4 Oscars. Best Picture, Best Actor, and Best Screenplay was 3 of them, I know. And it was nominated for 8 different Academy Awards. I want to give this a 3.5 out of 5. I think this is a very sweet, very lovely film. I think Borgnine and Blair are the best parts of the film. They're just a very charming couple together, and they're both very sweet and lovable in this movie. And it makes me understand why people liked Ernest Borgnine, because I actually really enjoyed him in this movie. I think he was a very charming, very likable character. I will say that I think the third act just did not need to be there. But again, I think that was more like a sign of the times than anything. I think that if they would have ended it in the second act and dragged it out a little more, I think it would have been better on that end. But if you want a movie, a quick movie, this is a 90-minute movie. And it's just a very sweet and lovely movie about just two people finding a connection. You can't go wrong with Marty, so definitely check this out on Tubi if you are interested. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please like it. If you didn't, please subscribe. And if you have questions or comments, go ahead and leave a comment whether you liked it or not. It just helps, you know. If you want my written reviews, you can go onto my letterbox at IamThatWiz, or you can go to my website at IamTheWiz.com. Thank you very much again for watching. See you next time.